What's going on, guys? Challenge here. Season of the Seraph is now live. I have made my impressions video on it, annotation here on screen, but we are continuing the trend of some content with this new season. I'm very much loving it. Again, watch my impressions to see why. I do acknowledge that these are day one impressions, and my opinion may change after week 12, so definitely wait for that. But as of now, I am loving this season more than the launch of Haunted and Plunder, and honestly, that is a very good thing, and I'm excited to see where it takes us. Now, we have some numbers regarding Season of the Seraph on Steam. Do keep in mind that this is one platform. Xbox and PlayStation do have healthy player bases of Destiny 2 players, so these aren't the full numbers, but again, PC is still a big player base for Destiny 2. Don't know how big, but again, we have seen a lot of streamers, a lot of players play this game on PC, so it's important to mention that. Now, Destiny Bolton put up a tweet, two tweets actually, breaking down the launch of Season of the Seraph when it comes to concurrent players on Steam, and it may not look very good at launch for this season. Now, Destiny 2 Season of the Seraph had the lowest day one peak concurrent players record on Steam since Season of Arrivals, and this was 122,000 players, only behind Season of the Worthy, which was at 115,000 peak players on day one. To put that in perspective with all the other seasons, Shadowkeep and Undying, which was a Steam launch, again, this game used to be on Battle.net before the departure from Activision, had 214,000 players. Dawn had 138,000 players. Worthy was at 115,000 players. Arrivals was 172,000 players. Beyond Light and Season Hunt, which was an expansion, had 242,000 players. Chosen was 132,000. Splicer was 157, and Lost was 178. Do keep in mind that Chosen, Splicer, and Lost were kind of pivotal moments of changing the seasonal model and taking the foundations of what happened in Arrivals and using that to your benefit. Now, we'll talk about that, why that's important later. Now, The Witch Queen and Risen launched, which was a Steam record of 290,000 players. Haunted had 180,000 players. Plunder had 193,000 players, and Seraph launched with a whopping 122,000 players. 30th anniversary, which was another content update, which was paid though in between Lost and The Witch Queen, wasn't a season, but it was kind of that 3-month buffer that we usually get, was 155,000 players. Now, before we continue on to what the game director said about some things about the season, it's important to mention that these numbers are only on Steam, and while they look troublesome, I think there's honestly a healthy reason why that is. If you guys look at the gaming industry right now when it comes to games that are out, I think there is a lot of games that players are wanting to play. Currently, I'm playing God of War. I've also played Call of Duty on this channel, if you guys don't know, and I am loving Warzone 2 and Modern Warfare 2, as well as other games that players may be, latching on to. Battlefield 2042, a game I will not return to until I see much more better stuff, has had some positive updates I've seen people talk about. Maybe people are going there, checking that out. There's a lot of diversity right now in the industry, so the players number going this low, I do think that has to be in account. Another thing that has to be in account was the reaction of Season of the Plunder. A lot of people, including myself, stopped playing and stopped playing hard. After the seasonal narrative concluded with the week-to-week narrative and Festival of Lost started, I absolutely dropped after I dropped a rant video about the festival just being meaningless to me, especially when it comes to rewards. So that taste in players' mouths certainly will lead to the launch of next season. Think about it like this. If you guys don't like a movie you saw and they make a sequel to it, will you really rush to go see that sequel? Unless good things are said about the movie? Probably not. That's how I view my movies. If I'm not too excited for a movie, kind of wait a little bit and see how people say about it. Then there's some things like Star Wars or Transformers where I want to see it instantly because I am massive fans of the franchise. And even though, for example, Transformers may suck, I want to be there. So take this like a movie. Plunder was not a good taste in many people's mouths, and the hardcore people will definitely check it out. But some of the people that may have dropped off after Witch Queen and Risen kind of are waiting a little bit because Haunted and Plunder weren't the best experiences for them. Is it all the reason? No. I think the seasonal model does need addressing. This is something I've continuously said. If someone says I do not think so, I mean, just go watch my recent video. I mention it, and I mention it in other videos. But yeah, seasonal model needs some addressing, and luckily, behold, day 2 of this season, the game director Joe Blackburn has come out and talked about this in a thread on Twitter, and we'll go over this tweet to tweet. I just want to step in and say, heard loud and clear on the feedback with our current seasonal backbones. The team is excited to put some more creative risk in seasonal progressions, but there will be some time before the feedback catches up with the dev cycle. Now, again, this is really important. I think people thinking season to season changes and what you have for that season is going to see the light of day in the next season is kind of wrong. It does seem like there is a 3-season buffer. For example, if we guys go back to that other list Season of Chosen was the first time we really truly saw the seasonal model, and honestly, it was built on the foundations that were laid out when Worthy was dropping, and we saw a little bit of that in Arrival. So kind of there was a 2-season in between buffer before we properly saw some form of changes when Chosen came out. Now, when Chosen came out, it was great. Splicer was one of my favorite seasons, if not my favorite season right now. Lost was a long buffer, but at the same time, they were building towards the Witch Queen expansion. Haunted continues that foundation, got some, backlash. Plunder was a great activity-based concept, but at the same time lacked rewards and kind of got very dull with some of the, festivals and all that stuff. And Seraph is here in the middle, where I do expect some changes after the Lightfall expansion. Back to Joe Blackburn. He goes on the preview. Coming up next in Lightfall and Season 20, while Guardian ranks and Neo Destination pursuits are going to shake things up, on the seasonal pursuit side, our major focus is reducing the complexity and improving the synergy between your seasonal pursuits and the rest of the game. Season 21 is the halfway mark of development, and the team is currently looking at ways to differentiate progression aside from having a more novel activity set up in the works. Finally, as the last bugs on Season 20 and Lightfall are wrapping up, we are hardening our 2023 plans and are working to make improvements in this space every season next year. There's still novelty, thematic variety, and ways to progress your character coming to Destiny over the next several months, but while we work to use this feedback in our future releases, I wanted to make sure everyone knows that your words are not falling on deaf ears. Again, game dev takes some time, and it's not like Bungie is not listening. I know people say that. Does the PvP community have some right to say that? I guess you can, but I also think that Bungie has learned that the PvE side and the narrative side is their strongest footing right now with this franchise, and they're really utilizing it in a successful way, in my opinion. Are PvP players going to be happy about that? Probably not. I'm not really happy about it either, but I tend to love the PvE side of the game way more than PvP side, so at this point, I really don't give a shit. But besides that, I really do appreciate Joe Blackburn coming out and saying this stuff. He is the game director, so I really would take his word seriously. It's not some random person who is working on the audio of the thing saying this is going to be the greatest season ever. This is someone who is in control of the direction that the game is heading. So take this with some positive news, even though this video started off with some negative stuff. But besides that, guys, let me know your thoughts on the details in this video. Are the numbers concerning to you? Are the numbers not concerning to you? Do you guys also like what Joe Blackburn said, the game director? Or do you not care and you're over this franchise? Let's have a conversation about it. But if you guys enjoyed this video, found this video informative, be sure to like this video. Gives this video a ton of love in the YouTube space. Trust me, it's weird. I mean, just drop a like. It's like it's one of the best things you could do for a video. And if you guys are new here and want to hear more of my voice and more of my content, definitely hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified for when I drop more content. But until then, that's all I got for this one. Shine Ninja here, and I'm out.